Thursday night game. Oh, and it's a bit of a blockbuster at the SCG.
Mm-hmm.
Roosters taking on the Broncos. Broncos hurting after that loss to the Tigers. Roosters starting to get their season back on track inside the 8. Plenty to play for here. Statman, what do you got for us?
Roosters have won 4 of the last 5 against the Broncos and 6 of the last 10. The average winning margin in the last 2 matches is only 2.5 points, but the average winning margin in their last 4 wins is 27.5. So there's a couple of real big blowouts there. I think there was a 59-0 in there. There have been 5 victories of 18 or more in the last 10. Roosters have 3 of those 5. The Chooks average 27.8 points against the Broncos in their last 10 and 35.5 in their last 5. Broncos average just a tick under 18 in the last 10 and the same in the last 5 versus the Roosters. The over the total points has hit in 4 of the last 5 and 6 of the last 10. And the average total in the last 10 is 45.5. And the last 5 is just a tick under 53. This week, 41.5.
Shirley, where do we go?
Yeah, if Paddy Carrigan was in, then I'd be thinking about the Broncos seriously there, but I think that that's a massive loss for them. He's the leader of that young pack, and I don't think they're going to be able to match it with them. They get Cobbo back, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough against the Roosters at the moment. They lose Lindsay Collins, who is their enforcer as well, but I think they'll be good enough to get the job done, probably in that 1 to 12 range, and like Paul said, sorry, it'll go overs.
Right, no, you are right, Shirley. I think Carl just read off Paul's run sheet.
Hey.
Almost threw your name in there too. Unofficial stats, man. Sorry, mate.
Don't start that.
Blake, are you thinking along the same lines? Roosters 1 to 12?
Yeah, the Roosters always trouble me at SCG. I mean, I don't know why, but they seem to not go as good this year anyway. They have won the games, but don't look as good as they have. The problem for me is trying to get Joe Manu involved. Now, it sort of messed him up a bit on the weekend because he was leaving his centres to go infield and get the ball, and then when they went to shift, he wasn't there at times, and it slowed him down. I don't know if I'd rather see him at 6 than Kirill Walker, one of them, to miss out. But I don't think it's going to happen. So, look, I think it's going to be like you said, Paul, a blockbuster, close game. And I think maybe the Roosters could be a field goal or maybe a goal kick in it, 2 points, 1 to 12. I think it's going to be real close.
Have they just picked up a Tiger?
Yeah.
Gildar?
Gildar, yeah.
And is that immediate or is that next season?
No, that's immediate. I think he's on loan for the rest of the year. Tigers are loaning everyone out at the moment. It appears they've given up.
I don't think Gildard's. I think he's going back to the UK. But even if you had Suwali in the centres and put Momirovski on the wing, I'd like to see Suwali get some more ball. I don't know. I think they win, Paul.
I think the Roosters might do the Broncos here.
Ooh, wow.
Nothing more than just a feeling.
I got a feeling.
Stats sort of back me up too. The last 3 home games, the Roosters, they've won 34-16, 58-12, and 36-4 against the Broncos.
Yeah, I agree with Blake. The SCG used to be like a gimme game for the Roosters. Other teams would turn up there and they'd either just be slightly off kilter because of the shape of the outfield. But it's sort of slightly dissipated in the last sort of even just season and a half sort of thing. So I still think that enough there. Carrigan out is a huge out for the Broncos, and it upsets the balance in that on their bench as well. So yeah, I'm leaning towards the Roosters, who really need to pick a win up here because they don't want to be relying on the last week of the season to get into the 8. They want to have it all locked up before then. So I quite like the Roosters 1 to 12 myself.
If they do put it on them, don't be Teddy Train will be running wild in the SCG. Get aboard.
Well, Well, our next game, we travel up to the Sunshine Coast, to the Sunshine Coast Stadium, where the Rabbitohs host the Warriors. Statman, tell us why the Rabbitohs are going to win this one.
Can we just pick another game? It's not good. Bunnies have won 6 straight and 9 of the last 10 against the Warriors. The over has hit in 4 of the last 5 and 8 of the last 10 and 10 of the last 13 between these two. So plenty of points. I think the last, what was it, 32-30? Should have won that game. Average total in the last 10 is just a tick under 54 points. In the last 5, it's just a tick under 58. And the total this week is 44.5. So that screams overs to me. Warriors average score in the last 10 versus the Bunnies is 18.4. The Bunnies average score in the last 10 versus the Warriors, 35.5. And the average winning margin in this fixture is 19.4 in the last 10.
Well, none of those stats are very bright for Warriors supporters. I'm surprised you didn't come up with stat like you did last week, where and Cam George has a steak and cheese pie for lunch on a Friday before a Saturday game on the Sunshine Coast. The Warriors score 44 points.
We didn't actually discuss that, Cam and I, but or maybe next week we'll see what his pre-match routine is.
I know someone who can shine a bright light on this game. Surly, you'll be able to tell us why the Warriors are a chance of winning.
Yeah, well, I'd prefer, rather than look at the stats, just look back to the last time these two played each other and the most recent 40 minutes, and you'd see that it was all one-way traffic to the Warriors. I think it was, 30-4 or close to in that second half. So absolute domination, and I think the boys will pick things up from there. Ewan Aitken back in the centres, looking to show Wayne that that's where he wants to play his footy. So a big day from him. And yeah, the boys are going to come out and just take it to the Bunnies and show that Latrell's not all he's talked up to be, unless he's in the sky blue of New South Wales.
Blake, provide a wee bit of balance to this conversation, please.
Talking about Latrell, should be a power play. Hopefully, Latrell to score 20-plus points, because I could see him getting a double and possibly kicking about 4, 5, up to 8, maybe 8 goals.
Field goals.
I've this got a scoreline of possibly 40-20, South's favour. I think Bunnies finishing that close to the Sharks at Shark Park. I think the team, the Warriors, are named. I can't see the Rabbits losing this at all. I was the first to say I didn't think they'd make the 8, and I'm here to say I was wrong. They proved me wrong, and they're starting to look good. Now, Saturday's the only day Sunshine Coast this week that is raining. I've checked. Hopefully the rain doesn't stop the points, because I do think South Sydney have a lot to put on.
If you ask Searley nicely, he might include that Latrell Mitchell to score 20-plus points in his Searley power plays.
I'll think about it. I do have a reputation to uphold, but I could chuck it in there right at the bottom and put in brackets Blake's power play.
Looks like it might get vetoed by Carl anyway before it gets to the bookies. So
won't make it through to the keeper, that one. No.
Carl, you're obviously on the Rabbitohs this weekend.
No, I don't know.
There he is.
No,
come on.
Don't do this to me, Carl.
No, I'm sticking solid, silly.
Good man.
Boys, they showed something last week against the Storm. Sunshine Coast, home game for the Warriors, essentially. Like I said, I like that back line. Aitken in the centres, tighten things up a little bit out there. SJ coming into some form, as you boys know he can. Egan, possibly the best 6 we have in the moment. He looked good in the halves last week.
He did.
Yeah. Sticking solid.
Come on, Paul.
Oh, just give me the Bunnies all day. Fair dinkum. Crikey. This will be one-way traffic.
I think Paul was the only guy at the club rooms cheering when Harry Grant dotted down. He was going berserk.
Yeah, look, we had to tell him to get away, because Cam George wanted to punch
Cam wasn't impressed.
No. Cam George just wanted to punch me in the face, full stop. To be fair, there were a few people lining up behind him to join in as well. No, I'm on the bunnies this weekend.
Bunnies, you say, Blake, that they're almost a lock for the 8. They've got a very tough run in. It seems like all of these teams play each other. The top sort of 6.
Yeah.
You've got the Eels, Panthers, Cowboys, Chooks.
Except for the Raiders. They don't.
Yeah, but I can't see like the Raiders. They're 4 points behind the Bunnies. I mean, like I said that about a month ago. I think the Rabbits are the team to drop out for the Roosters, but
Raiders only 2 points behind the Bunnies.
No, I just can't. I don't know. Well, I did say. Well, then if they do miss the 8, I said it about a month ago to get on. So there you go.
He's covered all bases.
Yeah,
just sprayed the board.
All right. Speaking of the Raiders, that's the third game that we'll look at this weekend. They're at GIO Stadium, taking on a halvesless Panthers squad. Although they've played without Luai or Cleary during the season, the Panthers, but boy, we get to the business end, and they're heading down to Canberra to take on the Raiders. This is going to be tough, surely, Statman.
Yeah, the stats suggest Panthers here. They've won three straight against the Raiders and 7 of the last 10. They've won 2 of the last 3 in Canberra and 5 of the last 11. The average total points in the last 10 between these two is 45.5. The last 2 is 42.5. This week it's 40.5. Panthers average total in the last 5, just a tick under 25 versus the Raiders. Same when we stretch it out to 10 games, whereas the Raiders is 15 in the last 5 games and 19 in the last 10. Average winning margin is about 19 in the last 5, and 4 of the last 5 winning margins have been 16 plus. With all that said, I think the Raiders are a bet this week at home with no Cleary and Luai for the Panthers.
Okay. Searley, you like the Green Machine this weekend?
Yeah, it's a hard one, I guess, because there's still so much talent in that Penrith side. And saying that, though, the way this Canberra 4-pack's playing, they definitely have the talent to match them through the middle there as well. So, yeah, if I was having a punt on it, I'd probably be chucking in the Raiders just because of the run of form they're on at the moment, and they'll be looking to target those halves. We know what we'll get from Sean O'Sullivan. It's more salmon that we don't know as much about, but I think they're just going to miss that creativity in the halves. I think O'Sullivan, he's more of just a guy that'll plug corners and get them in the right part of the field. But yeah, that Cleary Luai combo is just too much with both out. So I'll go the Raiders, but wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers still pull it off. I think it's going to be really close.
How good was it last season when they could bring in a guy called Matt Burton when any of the halves were injured? In fact, anyone in the back line was injured. They could bring him in and slot him in from any number from 1 to 7. They don't have him this time. So are you leaning towards the home side, Blake?
No, I'm not. Look, the Raiders are rolling, and it makes you wonder what the Raiders season could have been like, or it still could be, but where they would be sitting now if Fogarty wasn't injured for the start of the year, because he's playing some great footy and got them rolling. I just think that with those halves, Penrith's footy gets stripped back, and now you're going to start playing off Appy, Coruscant, and you're going to start playing off Isaiah Yeo. So I think you'll find once Papali and Tapani go off, I think they're just going to go straight through the middle and just keep ploughing away. I think a lot of the footy will come off Coruscant and Yeo, and I think the Panthers could win this by a field goal. But very close game, Panthers 1-12.
He's very, very keen on field goals this
Loves a
weekend.
field goal,
I like that.
You know something we
Close
don't.
games. Close games.
Close game. Statman?
I like the Raiders this week.
I can't disagree.
Good form at home.
I got them challenging for that 8, so
They've got more to play for at the moment than the Panthers.